at the Oracle TV pop-up studio at the Pagan Federation conference in London, and I've managed to catch up with one of the speakers, Caroline Wise, who's going to tell us about your new book, Finding Ellen. Hi, Caroline.
Hi, Carrie. My book is about a quest that started many, many years ago in the early 1980s when I was having a series of dreams and visions, as were certain friends of mine, about a female spirit or entity or goddess with horns, with antlers. We all know about the horned god, but the horned goddess, there was very, very little information on her. So I've spent many, many years trying to find out about her, and I also relate her very, very much to the very ancient trackways that crisscross the land, the ancient ridgeways, which I feel would have been the paths of the animals, the paths of the deer in prehistory.
And would they be anything like ley lines, or are they in addition to?
Ley lines are a difficult subject because they've had so many meanings projected onto them, and people tend to dismiss them because they hear sort of loose ideas about energy lines, which doesn't really mean anything. But yes, definitely from the sense of very, very old ancient trackways. If you go back to the original definition of ley lines put forward by Alfred Watkins, who popularised a theory and named them ley lines, he sees them as nothing but the old straight trackways across the land, which went for many, many hundreds of miles and were used by travellers and traders.
And is this tradition, is this kind of linking with the trackways and the goddess Ellen, is it specific to the UK, or are there kind of parallels and tendrils going out into different areas of the world throughout history?
I only know of it in the UK, but I have extended my research in the book to various ideas around shamanism in the Sami lands and in Siberia, and that whole sweep down from Scandinavia across to the east, taking in parts of Eastern Europe. We do know that there were travellers and traders in prehistory that did cross over into northern and eastern Europe and travel down, and we know this from the spearheads, and we also know that they were reindeer hunters. People were following the reindeer along vast tracts of land. So yes, it does spread out beyond Britain. That isn't particularly my research. But also,
it's so evocative, the image of the horned goddess, isn't it? And I remember when I first came across it, and it came through to me about a year ago, it suddenly felt immensely powerful. Well, and there was no kind of expectation of it to do so. So I thought it was really interesting that resonance was just there as soon as you tap into it.
I think when I look at antlers and when I look at crowns that kings and queens wear, and stag hunting and deer hunting has always been the preserve of kings and queens in, well, since, you know, the medieval times.
Time immemorial, really, isn't it?
That I think that crowns were based on antlers.
Oh, yeah.
And that we
pointy,
call it
they?
a crown of antlers when a deer has them. I think perhaps there's something there in it. It's as the king always has to kill the big stag in the forest, which is rather horrible, as if there's some sort of challenge going on, as there would be between two stags.
Yes, yeah.
So from that point of view, I can see why it's powerful.
Yeah, yeah.
To have antlers on your head, yes.
And do you think that there's anything specific about now as to why? I mean, you've been working with her for a long time, but she was quite not very well known at that point because you kind of rediscovered the energy, the link, didn't you? But she seems to have suddenly blossomed and burgeoned and become immensely popular and resonant in people's consciousness. And they're not just like looking to tag on to things; it's just suddenly come up. Do you think there's a reason for that?
I do think it is because of the work I did, because we put it on the map, and I do not believe there is any goddess in prehistory or history called Ellen of the Ways. That was the name I gave her.
Yeah.
And
because she was nameless, really.
Yes,
yeah.
Ellen of the title. But when you think that our ancestors would have relied on deer, reindeer especially, who I link very much to Ellen, for their clothes, their food, their needle and thread, their tools, their transport, they would have a symbiotic relationship with the herds. So following the herds, knowing which animals to take out, which animals to leave, like the young and the pregnant, or those that could be pregnant, for the future of the herd. I would imagine that for our ancestors and for certain tribes still in the world today, having this symbiotic relationship with the deer was crucial, and therefore it's not surprising that perhaps there is some spiritual element developing from that. And we were reinterpreting it here now in modern paganism.
Now I know also that even though you're very interested and drawn to all the research and the history, and you're researching so thoroughly, you don't just have an interest in things in the past. You're very interested in bringing them into the present day, aren't you? As an active, practical priestess. Can you tell us, the viewers, a little bit about what the goddess Ellen means as a pagan, as a witch, as somebody wanting to explore a magical or a spiritual connection to her? How is she relevant today?
Okay. Well, first of all, you're right. I don't see the point of doing any spiritual work unless it's relevant to today. Otherwise, you're just sort of in some sort of reenactment group, and I don't. That for me, that wouldn't work. It has to be relevant to today. I associate her with the old trackways, a lot of which are lost. And I think working with her magically, you're calling on her to show you your right path. What is your right path? Is this the right path I should be on? Maybe you're unhappy with jobs or relationships or where you're living or any aspect of your life. I would say how she's relevant today, and I've certainly worked with her successfully, I'm sure you have, is that if you call upon her, she will show you the way. And it might not be apparent at first. It might appear to you in dreams or various synchronicities that happen in your life over the weeks from when you tune into her. But she will show you the way. It might not be the way you think you want to go, or even feel you want to go. But yeah, she will show the way.
Oh,
I think that's her relevance.
Yeah.
Why I think that she has come through to myself and my friends, and why there's been such a response to that generally, is that I think that perhaps the spirits of the animals, the spirits of the land, are calling us themselves too. Because if you look at all the lands that the reindeer are on, the tribes that today live their life around the reindeer, all those lands are under threat as we speak. Sami lands for gold mining in Siberia, and all sorts of other mineral mining is making a wasteland of these reindeer sites, and therefore the lives of the people that depend upon the herds.
And where can people find this book?
It is on Amazon.com.
Amazon.com.
And Amazon.com UK as well.